For question number 5, it says, consider this system of equations. What value of h makes the system of equations true? Now, if you remember systems of equations, you learned in algebra how to solve them 3 different ways. By graphing, substitution, and elimination. Now, this systems of equation is set up perfectly to solve by elimination. Because in elimination, what you're doing is you add the 2 equations together, so that way one of your variables will cancel each other out. And so because I have a positive c and a negative c, these will cancel. So that just leaves me with 2h when I add these together, plus, this is 10, carry the 1, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, so this is $4. So actually that shouldn't be a plus sign, that's an equal sign. Okay. So what we have is 2h equals 4. And ideally that's what they want. They are looking for the value of h. So to solve for h, divide both sides by 2, so h equals 2. That is the easiest way to solve a systems of equations. The key is that you have one of the variables that when you add them together you get 0. And that allows you to simply add the equations together and then add the remaining, add the h's, add the constants, and then solve. For number 6, again, we're looking for the equivalent of the expression. And if you look at your answer choices, what we need to do, again, we see the word expression, so we're simplifying. And in this particular case, if you notice, all 3 terms have a k. They also all have even numbers, 4, 16, and 10. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to factor. Okay, so we're looking for a number, in this case 2, because they're all even, and they all have the variable k, and the lowest exponent is to the second. So that is 2k squared is what each of these terms have in common. And when we're factoring, what we're doing essentially is dividing. Okay, so I'm going to divide 4k to the 4th by 2k squared, and I'm going to get 2k to the 2nd, because when we divide, we subtract the exponents if the variables are the same. Then divide our second term by 2k squared, and 16 divided by 2 is 8, and k to the 3rd divided by k to the 2nd is k to the 1st, because 3 minus 2 is 1. And then when I divide 10k squared by 2k squared, the k squareds cancel out, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. And if you'll notice, that is answer B. Now, if you didn't remember how to factor, this is where one test-taking strategy can be very useful, and that is using the choices given to you to work backwards. Okay? So you might not remember how to factor, but chances are you remember how to distribute. And essentially, that's all factoring is. It's the reverse of distributing. So if I distribute 4k squared in choice A to what I have in my parentheses, what I get is 4k to the fourth, and that does match my first term. Then I get 4 times 4 is 16k to the third, and then 4k squared times 2 gives me 8k squared. So if you notice, it matches my first two terms, choice A, but it doesn't match my last term. So clearly that can't possibly be my correct answer. Now if I distribute 2k squared in answer B, 2 times 2 is 4, k squared times k squared is k to the fourth, 2k squared times 8k is 16k to the third, and 2k squared times 5 is 10k squared. Well, that is the expression I was looking for. So that's also how I can solve and know that my answer is B. So even if you didn't remember how to factor, you can distribute each of your answers till you get the correct one that matches the expression given to get your correct answer.